A lot of men have no skill, no education, simply because they're lazy and they taught themselves out of getting the skill and the education. They basically try to make the education or the skill seem so hard that, you know what, it's not worth the time or whatever. You know how much man I've met who are in their 40s, 50s and that, who have said to me, yeah, man was studying the electrical thing, but yeah, I didn't complete it and that. I could have been an electrician and that. Blood, being an electrician is not hard. I even had a woman phone me up the other day, about 4 or 5 days ago, and basically she was having some trouble with her son and that, whatever. And she said that she wants to try and get her son into being an electrician and that. And I think she must have said something about it being difficult. And I said, listen, it is not difficult. Don't let these people make you believe that being an electrician is difficult. Do not make these people make you believe that you need to be some mathematician to be a rascal electrician. It's nonsense, blood. Yeah, you gotta have good basic math skills. But I'm telling you, most of the stuff is all calculated. You're using a calculator, it's formulas and equations and that. It's not difficult. You don't need to be a maths whiz. I'm telling you. I told you lot before in my videos, and I said it to the woman, I'm gonna say it again. A lot of the youths that I was in class with, in electrical studies and that, and the man that I meet on construction site are the type of white youths that just, you know what I'm saying, they got ADHD, they throw papers at the back of people's heads and that. They're just stupid youths. But they applied themselves. You do not need to be no mathematician and that to be a rascal electrician. Now, what inspired me to make this video quickly is literally just now, I went to the hardware store, innit? So I walked in there and a man said to me, yeah, I'm just gonna come and serve you, whatever. When I turn around, I know a man from, you get me, way back in the day and that. And he's like, rah, your face don't change it. Like, I ain't seen a man for like, yeah, 15, 16 years, like that. And the man said, rah, I still recognize you. I'm like, yeah, I recognize you still. So anyway, boom, chatting to a man and he said, what, you're an electrician now? Yeah, I said, yeah. And he's like, yeah, the electrician thing is long though, man. They're always changing the regulations and that. And as soon as I hear that, all I hear is excuse. Because obviously, if a man's working in a hardware store or a shop, more than likely he don't have a degree. More than likely, he don't have qualifications to that, excuse the pun, to that degree and that. So a man will rationalize in his head why he's not an electrician or a plumber or some sort of skilled tradesman or something like that. He will rationalize it by making out that it's harder than what it is, but it's not hard. It's not hard, blood. It's not difficult. All you need to do is just apply yourself. That's it. Yeah, becoming an electrical tester, that might be a little bit difficult. Not necessarily because of the content that you have to learn, but it's the pass rate. You're not allowed to get that much wrong. So let's say, for example, most exams and that, to get a pass, you need to get like 60%. In the electrical testing exam, you need to get like 75 or 80%, something like that, to pass. So the pass rate is very high. It's very difficult to pass and that. But in terms of the content and that, it's not difficult. You just need to have a good memory and obviously understand your thing and that. I'm sick of tired of hearing these man make up excuses and that for why they're failing in life, bro. We got to take accountability, man. Too much, man. And I say it all the time, too much, man. They start one thing, they don't finish it. They start the next thing, they don't finish it. Then they think, all right, let me just, I'll jump on an accounting course or a sports science course. Don't finish that and then think to yourself, you know what, let me just get a job when I'm 20 years old and you know what, I'm just going to work things out in it. I'm just going to wing it for the next 10 years and that, blood. Life don't work itself out, blood. You think you're going to become and make something of yourself just by winging it, man? Think again, blood. Man thinks that success is just going to fall onto their lap, or they're just going to wake up on the wrong side of the bed or the good side of the bed one day and they're going to be successful on that, man. Forget it, blood. You got to put the work in, blood, and the work starts with the classroom. Don't get it twisted, man. Not working to be an employee for the rest of man's life and that, but you know what? Sometimes, yeah, in order to become the boss, you got to be the worker first. It's so simple, man. To make something of your life is so simple. Go to school, go to college, get yourself a skill, education or trade. Be ambitious enough to get a high paying job. Whilst you're working that high paying job, work all the hours you can, save your money. Don't live this fantastic, stupid lifestyle and don't try and live a champagne lifestyle on a lemonade budget. Save your money, invest it in property and or business, and blood, you're good, man. Literally, so many of us could retire by the age of like 45 and that, but we don't make good decisions. We don't make logical decisions. We spend money. We don't live frugal enough. I'm old, trust me. I ain't a cheap ass and that, but man's a frugal king, you know. I'll literally see something that's, what was it? I was gonna buy something yesterday for like £2.50. Oh, do you know what it was? So basically, I took my bike out yesterday, and as soon as I took it to like Edmonton Green, going past like the police station and that, the oil light came on. Now with motorbikes and that, there's no oil sensor to tell you how much oil you got left. It's just either you've got enough or you're running low, and then the red light will come on. Same like with the petrol. There's no petrol gauge on motorbikes, and maybe some of the newer models and that, but motorbikes, sports bikes are designed to not have it because they're racing bikes and that. But anyway, so there's no oil gauge on it to tell you if you need oil or not. Well, how much oil is in it. It just tells you that you need oil or you don't, innit? So boom, the oil light came on. So man's gone to Halfords quickly to go and buy some oil, and I saw a funnel. Now obviously when you're pouring oil into like a motorbike, you need a funnel on that. I saw the funnel was like £3 or something, and I was like, nah, I ain't spending the £3. So you know what I do? I get a piece of paper and roll it up like a tube and that, and I use that as my funnel. I don't like wasting money unnecessarily, man. But yeah, some people could call man a cheap ass and that. That's cool, fam. I'm the one that's sitting on free properties and that. You are not going to have free properties to your name if you just spend money. Yeah, Moncler, Balmain, Gucci, Balenciaga, Rolex watches, AP, Breitling and that. If you're that type of person, you will not have a property. And I know, man, that I like that. See, it's funny. I'm a man that's frugal. I spend money sensibly and that. And I've got properties in that. And I know, man, that are not frugal, don't spend money sensibly in that, and they're the ones that's not sitting on no properties and that. Yeah, they're telling themselves, yeah, man, one day I'm gonna buy this property, and then when I buy this property, I'm gonna get other property. But you're not buying no property, blood. It's not because a man's not earning enough. It's not because a man's not capable and that. Your mind is in the wrong place. Buying a property is a mindset thing. It's the mindset of, do you know what? Forget going on holidays 3 times a year. Forget Moncler. Forget the Range Rover or the Mercedes, yeah, A45 or C63 and that. Forget that. You know what? I don't need that. I'm gonna get that later. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save my money, live frugal for a good long while and that, and I'm just gonna invest my money in properties and that. Then when I've got multiple properties, 2, 3 properties and that bringing me an income, then I can use some of that money to go and buy the stupidness that I wanna have. And even me, I'm in a position where I got 2 properties turning me over a profit in that. I got one account with like 3.5 grand, the next account with like 4 grand in it. I ain't touched the money, blood. I ain't touched the money. The only time I've ever spent the money that was in my account for my property, so my property funds. So basically what I've got is I've got a separate account where obviously all the bills and the rent's paid into this account and that. And that's linked to one property. I never touched that money. The only time I touched it was when I was using that money to pay for the stamp duty for the next property. So it never even came out of my physical pocket. I didn't have to work for that money. So yeah, that's it for today, man. But man, them needs to stop making excuses and that for why they're failing, why they have no skill, no trade and that. My man will go 10 years just winging it and that on some idiot money, £100 a day, £120 a day, probably less than that. What's a man really earning working in a hardware store? Minimum wage? So a man will go 10 years working in a hardware store earning minimum wage and that, when he could just say, do you know what, yeah, I'm gonna work for almost minimum wage as an apprentice for 3-4 years, but then when I qualify and that, if I become self-employed, because the PAYE full-time employment thing is dead money really. When I become a full-time employee and that, sorry, a self-employed employee, then I'm gonna be taking home like 250, 300 a day, blood. That's what man needs to do, blood. But yeah, man, I'm out here too lazy. But that's it for today, man. Stay wise. Done now.